Hi, this is Stefan Gonik, Soulmate Attraction Mentor and founder of the Soulmate Attraction Academy. Welcome to Love Talk Q&A, the place to be to get your questions answered about finding and keeping the love of your life. So in this episode of Love Talk Q&A, I'm going to talk about how to attract and finally be with your soulmate. Now, if you've been struggling for a long time to find your soulmate, you are not alone. The great majority of people have been struggling for a really long time as well. In fact, for most people, just trying to find a reasonably good, reasonably healthy relationship remains out of their reach. When this goes on long enough, people start to even doubt the existence of soulmates. In fact, this may be happening for you even, that you're starting to wonder, is there really a soulmate out there for me? Or is that just all a myth? So, I am here to tell you that I'm absolutely convinced that there is someone super special for every person out there. It doesn't matter what you look like, how much you weigh, how much money you make, where you're from, where you live, any of these kind of factors, that there's someone super special for each one of us who is an ideal partner for us. So you then may be wondering, well, how do I meet this super special someone, right? At this point, a lot of people figure that they must need to learn how to do something new and different in order to attract their soulmate. And on the surface, it seems to make sense because you think, well, there's all these things that I've been doing for years and they haven't been working. They haven't found my soulmate yet. So maybe I have to learn how to do these like new and different things to finally find and be with my soulmate. So it's at this point that lots of times they'll seek out a dating coach where they try and learn these dating tips and techniques and strategies to try and have a more successful love life. Unfortunately, what they find when they take that path is that these tips, strategies, techniques, and things are only a minor help and best, and they don't really lead to their ultimate goal, which is to find their soulmate. So then, if that's not what it takes, then what is it? Well, I have this wonderful quote from Rumi that I think goes to the essence of this. And it goes like this: "Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it." So I love that quote because it represents my philosophy about what it takes to find our soulmate. So let's look more carefully. What does this quote mean, really? So it says, our task is not to seek for love. It's not about trying to find your soulmate directly, but it's to seek, to look within and find all of our internal barriers to finding love. So basically, if we are able to clear our internal barriers to finding love, then based on this Rumi quote, the implication is that then the door will become open and we will naturally attract our soulmates to us. In fact, our soulmates, you and your soulmate, will be naturally drawn together like magnets. And in my experience, this is exactly what happens, is that once we clear our internal blocks to love, then we do exactly that. We naturally attract, first of all, amazing new people into our lives, and then we're able to finally attract and be with and melt into the arms of our beloved. So the question now may be, so these internal blocks you're talking about, what are these internal blocks? And just even the idea that we can have different internal blocks and trying to figure out what they are and do something about them can seem a little overwhelming. Well, in my over 20 years of experience, I've distilled down these internal blocks into what I call 3 key blocks to finding love. Now, I'm going to go into them a little bit in this video. I have a free mini course called The 3 Secrets to Attracting Amazing Love that goes into much more depth on each of these 3 blocks, and in particular, what you can do to clear these 3 blocks so you can be with your soulmate. But in order for me to do as much as I do in the mini course, this video would have to be like an hour long, and I want to keep it short. So here's the brief version. The first key block is being powerfully, subconsciously attracted to the wrong people. Now, if you think about this, you've probably noticed over the course of your whole relationship history that you tend to have these painful repeating patterns in your relationships. That even though your different partners may be very different from each other in a lot of ways, there's a certain common thread or threads that keeps repeating over and over again that are very painful and unhealthy and destructive and lead to unhappiness in your relationships. And these people are definitely not your soulmates. So the first key block talks about being powerfully, subconsciously, without our conscious awareness, be attracted to these wrong people that cause us to make the same selection errors over and over again. So as long as we are attracted to these wrong people, being with our soulmate is just not an option. It can't happen. So that's the first key block, and that's a huge one, as you can see. Now let's assume we clear that block and we're no longer attracted to those people anymore. So we're no longer facing away from our soulmate, right? The wrong people are definitely not our soulmate. So we're no longer facing towards them anymore. So we're now potentially available to be with our soulmate. But this is where the second key block comes in. And the second key block is about the fears, insecurities, and limiting beliefs that can interfere with us being with our ideal partner, with our soulmate. Now, sometimes these fears, insecurities, and limiting beliefs can be so powerful that you can't even get anywhere near your ideal partner. Okay, that was certainly true for me in my early years. I couldn't get near the kind of woman I really wanted to be with within like 20 feet of her. So that's the most extreme case. But in more subtle cases, what happens is that these fears, limiting beliefs, and insecurities cause us to sabotage ourselves when we're trying to connect with a really great person. You may have had these kind of experiences when you're meeting somebody new that seems pretty interesting or fascinating even, and you become tongue-tied, you become just kind of paralyzed. Sometimes you even end up saying things that are like, wow, where did that come from? That it is obviously shooting yourself in the foot and completely sabotaging any possibility with being with that person. So this is all having to do with the second key block of having specific kinds of fears, insecurities, and limiting beliefs that interfere with or even prevent you from being with your ideal partner, your soulmate. All right, so now, again, you can see how huge this can be. So now let's assume we've cleared both of those two blocks, and then we get into the third block. So the third key block is not being aligned with bringing your soulmate into your life as soon as possible. So there's a subtle but profound principle involved with this that can result, it's always at play one way or the other, and can either result in accelerating your love life, bringing and magnetizing your partner into your life more quickly, or it can do the opposite, and it can kind of repel your soulmate, keep your soulmate at a distance. So that's the third key block. Most people have all three. Sometimes you only have two out of the three. But you need to know how these three blocks apply to you personally so that you can clear them and clear out these three blocks so that the door becomes completely open and you're able to be just your normal, natural, authentic self. Actually, I use the word normal. That may not be your normal experience, but after you clear these three blocks, you'll find that you will naturally, easily be able to be your authentic self when meeting people, dating, connecting, and things like that. And there'll be no barrier between you and your soulmate. And you will bring this person into your life naturally. In fact, the first thing you'll notice is just the quality of people that you attract into your life is hugely better than before. You don't have any of these negative people anymore. And at the very least, you have these really great, wonderful people, way higher quality. And then ultimately, you meet and find your soulmate. So like I said before, if you want to learn more in-depth description of these three key blocks, I encourage you to sign up for the free mini course, The 3 Secrets to Attracting Amazing Love. And you can use the link just right below in the comments for this video. And I just want to leave you with this final message. And that is, no matter how long you've been looking, love is possible for you. Once you clear these three blocks, you'll be able to finally be with and melt into the arms of your beloved. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. I would love to hear what you think about everything I said in this video in the comments below. Tell me what you think, whether or not this matches your experience. If you have any questions, things like that, I'd be very happy to respond. Thank you. Did you like this video? If so, click on the like button below, subscribe to this channel, and spread the love to your friends. And if you have questions about your love life, please submit them in the comments below, and your question just might appear in an upcoming episode of Love Talk Q&A. Also, if you would like to understand the 3 key blocks to finding love and how to attract your soulmate now, sign up for the free Finding the Love You Want mini course. Well, thank you for hanging out with me, and remember, No matter how long you've been trying, you really can have the life and love you long for. This is Stefan Gonick, International Love Coach from FindingTheLoveYouWant.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time on Love Talk Q&A.